In this video, I'll show you exactly how to use WordPress as a GraphQL backend so you can serve your content to any front-end framework like React, Vue, or even a mobile app. Normally, WordPress is what's called a monolithic CMS, meaning your content, backend, and front-end are all tightly coupled together. That works fine until you want to reuse your content somewhere else, like in a mobile app or a React site. WordPress tried to solve this with a REST API, but it often returns too much data and you don't get full control over what's fetched. That is where GraphQL changes everything. It lets you request exactly the data you need, no more, no less, making your content delivery fast, clean, and efficient. By the end of this tutorial, you will have WordPress running locally and serving your content through GraphQL, also ready to connect to any front-end framework you like. Don't worry, you won't need a hosting plan for this setup, but if you rather host it online, I have dropped a reliable WordPress hosting option in a description and pinned comments. Now, before we dive in, here is what you will need: a LAMP setup, that is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP, or any local server like XAMPP or local by Flywheel. Basic knowledge of WordPress, just enough to install plugins and navigate the dashboard, and a basic understanding of GraphQL so you will know what's happening when we start making queries. Don't worry if you don't have your environment ready. I've also dropped a step-by-step guide in the description and pinned comments to help you set up everything before continuing. Alright, let's dive in. So step 1, you need to download the latest version of WordPress using the link in the description and pinned comments. That will give you a zip file you can unzip on your local machine. Once that is done, we'll get it up and running locally and then add GraphQL support. To get it up and running locally, you would cd into the WordPress folder. So let's open up our terminal here. So I'm going to move over to downloads and cd WordPress. I've unzipped it already, so cd WordPress. We can see our folder right here, and I want to open this with my favorite code editor. So just going to do code dot, so it's opened up. Then in my terminal here, to get it up and running locally, you would cd into the WordPress folder, which we've already done, and run the following command: php-s localhost 8000. Now this will start up our local server for us. Navigate to localhost 8000 in your browser. You should see the WordPress onboarding page. Select a language and click continue. So we are going to select English and click continue. Then for the database, we need to create our database. So I'm just going to go to MySQL is, and I want to create a new database. To create a new database, I'm going to click on database and add database. So to ask me for a database name, I'm going to call this YT_WP. Once I click add, my database is created. So on this part, it says welcome to WordPress. Before getting started, you would need to know the following items: database name, database username, and database password is the database host. So let's go. On database name, I'm going to say YT_WP. Username for my database is root, and my password, I'm not going to show you that. I believe this should be the correct password. Then for database host, we'll leave it as localhost, and table prefix, we'll leave it as WP_. Once we click submit, as you can see, it works. So it says, all right, Sparky, you made it through this installation part. WordPress can now communicate with your database. So we are going to click on run the installation, and this should take a few minutes to set up. So it asks you for our site title. We're going to say YT_WP, and username would say Ukpai. We'll leave the password as the suggested one. I'm going to input my email address, then install. Log in using your new credentials to access WordPress admin dashboard. With WordPress up and running, it's time to turn it into a GraphQL backend. From your dashboard, go to plugins, click on add plugins, and in the search bar, we're just going to search for WPGraphQL. Then click on install, and then click on activate. Once activated, you will see a new menu item called GraphQL in the sidebar. Hover over it and you should go to settings. Here you can customize your GraphQL endpoint. It is GraphQL by default. Leave it as it is for now, and optionally enable debug mode if you want to see more detailed error messages. Just remember to disable debug mode in production. Let's make sure everything is working. You can test your GraphQL API using tools like Postman or Insomnia, but the GraphQL plugin already comes with its own built-in IDE called GraphiQL. To open it, go to GraphQL and you should see the GraphiQL IDE. So clicking on that opens up the IDE. Here you can write and run queries, see results in real time, and explore your schema docs. So to see our schema docs, we can click on Query Composer, and then here you'll be able to see all our schema docs. So you have all settings, you have categories, you have comments, content node, content type, and the like. Those are our schema. So let's start with a simple query to fetch all posts, just their titles and IDs. So we're going to say query posts and nodes, and under the nodes we want to get title and also the ID. So if we click this, we're going to see we have hello world, which is by default, and then we have this ID here. We'll try creating new posts in our dashboard and then rerun the query. Let's create a new post, add new post. I'm going to call this post 1, hello post 1. Then we'll create another post again, say post 2. Now if we go back to our GraphiQL IDE and say we want to run the same query, you're going to see the new post we created, post 2 and post 1 up here. Now let's make our query more powerful. For example, to include categories for each post, we would have to update our query by saying we want to get not just title and ID, we also want categories, and under categories we want nodes, and under nodes we want name. Now if we run this, we should see these three are all uncategorized, so we could add them under a particular category of posts, but we are not going to do that. You can go ahead and do that yourself. Then you can also fetch more detailed data for a single post by using the post ID. So we can do this, get this particular post, or let's say hello world, the post ID right here, and we're going to update our query. And if I run this, we can see we've gotten more details. We have the dates, we have featured image to be null, author by my URL, the contents, the author name, and the likes. And just like that, your WordPress site is now serving structured, flexible data via GraphQL. Awesome job. You have just turned WordPress into a GraphQL server. You can now use this endpoint to serve data to any front end like React, Vue, Next.js, or even mobile apps. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to connect this GraphQL backend to a Next.js front end and render your content dynamically. If this was helpful, drop a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.